So I thought I'd do a quick update because I've had a few people like message and ask like what the latest is, sort of thing. I'm trying to think what I said last time I was on. I think the last video I did was about that eye mask thing. I guess the only update I can say is I had a consultation with the surgeon about 3 weeks ago, just because I didn't need to go, like it wasn't even part of like the aftercare, but I have free aftercare for 2 years after the surgery date. So if I have any issues or any concerns, I can go there and talk to the surgeon, and it doesn't cost me anything. So I just get really anxious about my eyes and stuff, which I guess you can understand when you think about how short-sighted I was. So yeah, I went there, they checked my eyes over, and I can't see 20/20 in either eye. It turns out I never could. I always thought I could, but the optometrist, who is the same optometrist I've seen every time that I've been there, he like looked back in my notes and said, no, like you've never seen 20/20, but you're close to it. I think I can see, I think he said it's like, he described it as 7 letters bigger than 20/20. That doesn't mean 7 lines, because then it would be like that big, but it's 7 letters. So I think it's the equivalent of like 1.5 sizes bigger, if that makes any sense. I don't really know. All I know is I can see better than the UK driving standard, but not 20/20. So it's like somewhere in between that level, which is perfectly fine. Like right now, I've just driven like 180 miles down to Portsmouth, and I could see perfectly fine. I could like read all the signs just fine and all that. So that's all he ever really wanted. Like I can see the TV, I can see my laptop just fine. What else can I talk about? I don't use the eye mask much because when I had that consultation, he checked my eyes and said they're not dry, and the meibomian glands here aren't blocked up anymore. That's just a seasonal thing with me. I think it's mainly like hay fever. Come spring, summer, I think it's rapeseed, which is what I'm allergic to, which spreads loads, and I live like surrounded by fields, so there is a lot of it. I get hay fever quite bad, my nose itches, these bits itch, and when it gets really bad, the whole like underlid, all this bit itches, and even the outside bit. And sometimes I'll wake up with like crust in the corners of my eyes because I just get hay fever. I just stopped the recording by accident. So yeah, the hay fever makes my eyes quite dry. But as you can see, you can't really tell with this rubbish laptop camera, but my eyes are very white, despite it being like quite late at night. So yeah, there's no discomfort. The vision is fine. Obviously, if any of you out there watching who are like a -10, -15, the chances are that if you have ICL implants, it's going to correct you 100%. The only reason I can't see 20/20 is, one, my left eye, I have a bit of a squint, which the surgeon said when you're like 4 or 5 years old, if you have any astigmatism, your brain tends to like adapt to that at a young age. So as you get older, your brain never learns to like use your eyes properly. That's the best way I can describe it. And I've always had quite severe astigmatism, so that's why I have quite bad squint in this left eye. The right eye has it a tiny bit as well. So I'll never see 20/20, but for people with like a lower prescription, you'll probably be able to see 20/20 just fine after ICL surgery, but don't quote me on that. Everyone's results are different. All I can say is I fully recommend the surgeon I saw. If I've not mentioned him I'm pretty sure I've mentioned his name in a past video, but I'm in the UK. I went to Moorfields Eye Hospital in London, and the man who did my ICL implants and the laser surgery was Mr. Bruce Allen. If you Google him, if you just put in Google like Bruce Allen eye surgery, you'll find his own website, and you'll also find him on the Moorfields private website. It's a really nice place, like the Moorfields private building. It's all clean and well run, and you get free coffee. And yeah, I've always been seen like on time, and been really well looked after. So yeah, I don't really see much point in doing any more videos because I don't think anything's going to change. It's been nearly a year now since I had both surgeries, and it's all good. If there are any like specific questions you want answering, I might like save them all and then at a later date just do one video where I answer a load of questions. But otherwise, I don't really see the point in just updating it for the sake of it. Like, I'm happy with the result. I've had no bad side effects. The only minor side effect I've had is the halos at night, but that doesn't really bother me when you compare me now to where I was at. It's a very fair trade-off. So yeah, hope this helps anyone like thinking about doing it. Or the only advice I would say is, if you're thinking of having ICLs or laser, one, wait until your prescription is stabilized. There's no point in you having it done when you're like 20 years old if your eyes are still getting worse every year, because in like 2 or 3 years you're going to need another laser surgery and it's just going to cost you double. So that. But at the same time, I'd say don't put it off. If you're really struggling like in life, you hate your glasses, it's killing your self-confidence, contact lenses are just not working for you, the itch in your eyes, the fit's bad, the vision's bad, and your prescription has stabilized, but you don't want to pull the trigger because you're just anxious about it. You need to get over that anxiousness. I hate the idea of like my eyes being cut open, but I still went ahead and did it, and it's not that good. It's not that bad, I mean. I remember being taken into the surgery room. Obviously it's all sterile environment, and the nurse like took my wrist like this to like put the heart monitor thing on, and she was like, "You're shaking. You're so like nervous. Why are you shaking so much?" I was just like, I really don't like the idea of what's about to happen. So what they do, I've explained this in another video. They if you want it, they can put they pump like I think it's an opioid in your vein. It's a bit like morphine, but not quite as strong. And as soon as that goes around your body and into your brain, you completely relax. Not only do you have that, you also have pure oxygen. You have like an oxygen mask around your mouth. So I'd say with that opioid in my veins, I'd say my anxiety went from a 10 to like a 2. Like, you just feel like you don't even care what's happening to you, sort of thing. It just makes you that relaxed. And it's the same with the laser surgery. You can choose to have a tablet. I honestly can't remember what the drug is called. Some sort of like sedative sort of thing that just makes you more relaxed about the whole process. And pain wise, there's really no pain during either laser surgery or the ICL surgery. You don't feel anything. You do get some pain after the ICL surgery. When the anesthetic is worn off, it will feel sore. I'm not going to lie to you. It will feel like there's a grain of sand in your eye for about 24 hours, and it will hurt every time you blink. So make sure you're off work for at least a day after the ICL surgery is what I would recommend. Preferably 2 or 3 days, just to be sure you're in like a sterile environment and you're not going to get grit or stuff in your eye. The laser surgery, if you have LASIK, I've heard that's like no pain at all. Like, because with LASIK, what they're doing is they're cutting a flap of the cornea, like, so they're slicing into it, then lifting it up, then they do the correction, and then they drop the flap back down, and so it sort of like heals much quicker. What I had was LASIK, or technically it's called trans PRK, which is more painful, but it takes away less cornea, because I've got quite thin corneas as it is, so I just chose to do that instead. So the one I had, they burn the surface layer, epithelial cells, they burn them off, the top layer, then they make the correction, then they put a bandage contact lens on, and your top layer grows itself back over. Like, the protective layer regrows itself, but that will take like 3 or 4 days of pretty bad pain. It is painful, I'm not going to lie. So if you go for that laser surgery, all I'll say is make sure someone's or you have sorted your bedroom out in such a way that there's no light in your room at day or night time. You want it to be as dark as possible, and obviously the car journey after the surgery, you want at least 2 pairs of sunglasses on, because any sort of light is just so sensitive and it will be painful. I was like, I remember I was being driven back to my house. I had a coat over my head, black coat over my head, and there was like still a little bit of light getting through, and I was like crying. My eyes were just running with water. It was so painful just because of that tiny bit of light, and every time you blink it hurts. I don't want that to put you off, because they do give you drops, which are like a mild local anaesthetic, so you put a couple of drops in, that does take away the pain. I just didn't think to do that on the drive because it's too like bumpy. I didn't want to like hit my eye. So yeah, I think I'll leave the channel as is, unless I do get a load of questions, or tell me how you're doing, like I need to know more, like that sort of thing, and then I'll compile them all and do another video. So yeah, hope this helps.